Yo, welcome to Hard Pass. I am your host, Jacques Slade. It's the show that cannot get over the menu at Korean Costco.
3 specific menu items at the food court, and today I'm gonna try it. I got a bulgogi bake, a slice of shrimp pizza, chashu fried rice, and the abalone porridge.
Yeah, I knew the hot dog was going to be the punchline, but that chashu and fried rice meal? Gonna need that here in the States, Costco. Preferably for like $5, like your roasted chicken. Come on, you know the vibes. Let's start with some hot takes. It sure looks like there are more Travis Scott Air Jordan 1 lows on the way, as a pair worn by Travis Scott's daughter Stormi might be the one colorway set to drop. Now, it's not entirely surprising that this would happen considering the massive success of past Jordan 1 lows with the Travis Scott cosign, but I'm still wondering when Travis will drop his magic touch on the mids. Like, if he can pull off and make mids like this fake one here as desirable as highs and lows, Travis for president of creative at Nike, just president of creative at Nike. We don't need more leaders of things that weren't meant to be leaders of. College athlete J.R. Smith, already the most celebrated college golfer since Tiger Woods last played for Stanford 25 years ago, recently participated in his first tournament for North Carolina A&T State and wore some Air Max 97 golf wingets for his round. Now, you're probably coming here expecting a Henny joke, but nah. We respect JR, and the internet took it too far when he tried to do something new and exciting. That being said, I fully expect one of these against their rival UNC Greensboro. Yeah, I don't actually know if they are rivals. I need to get my knowledge up on HBCU college golf rivalries, so I'm just guessing here. Brandon Ingram confirms what we've always known. Most Zoomers would freeze if you complimented them on their Nirvana or Metallica or even Aaliyah t-shirts they're wearing. And I get it. There's few things more annoying than somebody gatekeeping fandom and whatnot, but if I were to go out to wear and say a Paramore t-shirt, I would make it a point to know one more song besides Ain't It Fun and one more band member besides Hayley Williams, and that would be guitarist Taylor Work or Zach Farrell on drums. Oh, you guys didn't know? Jacques all about that life. What if I told you that the newfound Glory cover version of King Wishful Thinking was a banger and secretly better than the original by Go West? Blew your mind, huh? It's like when you first heard me say Vegeta on this show. Speaking of Vegeta, his longtime enemy Frieza is on display at the Cross Shinjuku Vision screen right now to promote the Dokkan battle game, but notably it's only half of Frieza because, as somebody in the Hypebeast comments pointed out, it's because they filmed this after Frieza got cut up by Trunks. That's a very specific reference that I appreciate. Well done at Bry Frodo. Anyway, somebody wore Jordan 1 Dior's to homecoming, and apparently that's news. CM Punk is in the middle of his first sneaker controversy after he gave away a pair of red Jordan 1s to a fan or industry plant dressed as an Orange Cassidy impersonator last week. But it wasn't the bread ones he clearly bought during his sneaker shopping appearance. No, it was a pair of bread 1 mids, which infamously has red eyelets. I mean, that's smart. What do you think Bret Hart gave away the real shades to kids when he was in his prime WWF days? Nah, those are the toy ones you can buy at the merch stand. Punk knows more than he lets on, people. Don't fall for it. And don't work yourself into a shoot, brother. All right. And now the latest chapter of Hard Pass versus Sneakers, which sounds like a bad concept album title like Raymond versus Raymond. Like, I know it relates to your personal life at the time, Usher, but it just sounds goofy is all I'm saying. Let's talk about the latest sneakers app drama. During an internal meeting last week that I'm sure was never meant to be seen by anyone outside of that room or Zoom, Nike talked about how well sneakers was doing in driving consumers to their online business, but also the side effects of that same success. In multiple slides, which were reviewed and verified by Complex Sneakers, they were talking about how sneakers was mostly pushing the hardcore customers further and further away from the brand, resulting in them leaving the culture and hobby altogether or moving on to other brands like New Balance. This was not only affecting Nike directly, but also their top tier partners like higher end sneaker boutiques who have their own launch day issues as well. They even refer to the sneakers as high heat, which is a term I've never used unless I'm checking the weather on my app and shedding a single tear when I see that it's triple digits in freaking October. It's fall on the East Coast, California. My co-writer was just there and he was wearing a Nautica windbreaker with zero irony in Rhode Island. Ugh. Anyways. This week's main character is Sneakers Global VP Ron Ferris. Moving on from our guy, Nike CEO John, I won a knock the golf jacket or whatnot, yay, Donahue. During the meeting, Ferris states that the community is becoming disenfranchised by their low fairness numbers, and that their fairness numbers are not where they should be. They're at like the mid-20s. They need to be in the 80s. All right. First of all, mid-20s actually sounds high when you think about how much everybody complains about the sneakers app online. And it's not just sneaker people, mind you. On any given Saturday or whatever day a hyped pair of sneakers drop, sneakers almost always trends because people are either taking L's or threatening to quit. I even saw a dude who fit the taking a selfie inside their truck while wearing Oakleys and a cap description to a T who said they were done with sneakers. And if you lose that guy, well, okay, I think it's okay we all lose that guy. Now, there was a time you could easily attribute that to, well, it's just a vocal minority, as we do with some things in social media. Even I have been guilty of making that assumption at times as well. But now that people in power are actually talking about it, albeit not publicly, that's when you know the fear is coming out of Beaverton is legit. But back to that fairness number. I want to know how they came to that calculation. What was the survey they used to come to that conclusion? I can't imagine any app that deals in exclusive products like sneakers is ever going to have a satisfaction number higher than 50 if people are not getting the things that they want. Like, if Sony or Microsoft were to develop their own sneakers type app right now to deal with their own issues, it would be a disaster from the jump. Also, would Sony spell their app Plystn and maybe take out the Y because it might as well be a vowel? And would Microsoft spell theirs XBX, which is already a shorthand for Xbox? Anyway, what's the fairness score of the regular Nike app in comparison? I would imagine it's relatively high since they rarely deal in exclusive drops. I think chasing that 80 number for sneakers and whatever that means is going to be a losing proposition as long as the items stay limited in numbers. Another interesting tidbit of the presentation was the perception of who was getting these rare kicks. Ferris used the gentrification analogy and how sneakers have gone mainstream and attracted an audience that sees sneakers not as part of their lives, but rather as part of a trend at the moment. A 5-minute look at the sneakers on TikTok would pretty much confirm that point. Ferris goes on to say that they're going to shape the marketplace to reflect the community they serve, especially in Black and brown communities and Asian communities, so that they actually show and they actually give equity and inclusion to the communities that have been gentrified out and alienated by the resale market. The presentation continues on how the swoosh has not been meeting up with the growing demand of the app, which again seems obvious, but it's nice to see actual numbered data on the topic. In the years since sneakers launched, a release might have attracted 300,000 people in the past, but now it's 750,000. That's a far cry from the social media claims that billions of bots scoop up all these kicks. Now, whether you take Nike's word on this is entirely up to you. All I will say is, I don't think they have a reason to make up this or downplay numbers during an internal meeting that wasn't meant to be heard by you or me, allegedly. And now we come to the last part, and I think this is the most important part of the whole thing. The actual number of kicks made and sold on sneakers app. Ferris is saying that Nike plans to redefine scarcity, pointing out the strategy behind the 50 colorways of the Dear Summer Off-White Nike Dunk Low that dropped a few months ago. They talked about the exclusive access program that Nike CEO John Donahoe talked about during his time in the spotlight a few weeks ago, where invitations were given out to the most deserving of consumers. But what I really care about is the actual number of off-white dunks made, and it was 500,000. Now, they don't say if certain pairs are rarer than others, but if Nike had done your typical Saturday 7 a.m. Pacific time release for these and not gone exclusive access, 500,000 pairs divided up by 750,000 real flesh and blood people is not bad. That's a 66.7 fairness score of whatever. And finally, they go on to talk about creating more engaging content on the app. Blah, blah, blah. I could tell them that most people don't really give a about content on the app. They just want to get their kicks and blah, blah, blah. But if they're looking for somebody to create content in the app, well, they know how to reach me. Wow. I feel like I just went through the whole meeting there myself. Okay, so now that we've gone over the meeting, here is my single takeaway. Burn it all down. At the end of the complex story, Ferris says that they have to listen to their community, and I'm guessing they mean their most diehard fans who aren't just in this for the clout. Well, as someone who I would say doesn't identify as diehard but has been entrenched in this sneaker enthusiast space for a very long time, I think I can speak for a majority of them when I say burn it all down. Scrap the sneakers name. It's a brand that is so scarred from one blunder to another botch that it's going to take years to recover. And by then, all of those brands like New Balance that Nike feels is creeping up on them will do real damage to their bottom line. By the way, did anyone else think it was interesting that New Balance and smaller independent brands were the ones that got name checked and not Adidas or Yeezy or Under Armour? Just saying. Okay, back to sneakers. Start over, migrate your data over to the regular Nike app in the interim, and do your exclusive access or whatever it is you're planning on doing to rebuild the trust in that in the meantime. I happen to like the regular Nike app. It's easy to look for stuff. It's helpful when I go to a brick and mortar store. It has my purchase history dating back like, I don't know, a decade, which gives me a headache when I add up how much that I've actually bought. The content on there is less obtrusive than it is on sneakers, and I truly believe that sneakers is beyond saving at this point. And that it's time to start over. It's not like Nike has never cut bait on something they truly pushed for in the past because it wasn't clicking with consumers. Remember Shocks or Fuel Band? How about when sneakers was exclusive to people who knew somebody, and then they got a code? Oh wait, scratch that last one. Actually, that was maybe the only time that people actually really liked the sneakers app. I think a whole new rebrand and a whole new approach is in order here. And it starts with the thing that I have been pushing for ever since we started this show. Pre-orders. If we can pre-order video game consoles, Pokemon cards, iPhones, we can pre-order sneakers too. Just give us a window of time to get our order in and we will wait for it, I promise you. I bet you the people who want a fresh pair of the Air Jordan 1 Chicago number in the millions. Why not give all of those millions a chance to get a pair? And instead of making them fight literally, figuratively, and internetarily for whatever, give us a day. Hell, give us a few hours. Give us time to get our pre-orders in and we'll wait patiently for it. Those who don't get it can either wait for those who get theirs to resell, or they can wait for the next time a pre-order window opens. You're not gonna please everybody, but I think this solves a major problem. If you go to the overproduction route and flood the market, that makes them Air Force Ones, and I don't think Nike or sneakerheads want that for the Jordan 1s or other iconic retros like the 3s or 4s or 11s. No disrespect to Air Force Ones. They could try what Chanel is currently trying to do and literally limit purchases to one person per year, but that'll go over like a sack of Yeezy 500 highs. Plus, why wouldn't Nike want the double shot of publicity? Because there will be that rush to get the pre-orders in during the available time, and then there will be the high that people get when they receive their sneakers a few weeks or a few months later. And again, don't worry about the wait, Nike, because the community you claim to want to serve will be perfectly fine with waiting if it means they can always get the sneakers that they want. Because they are in this for the long haul and not just for the length of a TikTok video, which is like an hour long or something, whatever. The 50 Dear Summer Off-White Dunks was a brilliant idea because there was a lot more positivity over the release compared to previous years. But they can't keep doing the same gimmick with every hyped drop. Like, I'm not sure an Air Jordan 1 Chicago with 50 variants of laces is gonna go over well with the sneakerheads. It worked in this instance, especially for my guy DJ Big Boy Chang, who has all 50 pairs, but it might be an isolated instance that will be hard to replicate. I don't know what the future will hold for Sneakers app and Nike's place in the sneaker zeitgeist. Oh, actually, what am I saying? We know that Nike will hold on to the crown for now and for a very long time, no matter what they do. But it would be nice if they showed that they actually cared and followed through on what was said in this meeting. All right. What do you all think about Nike's hopes to change sneakers? Should they do more programs like exclusive access, or should they rethink everything and start all over? Basically, burn it down. You guys let me know what you think down in the comments below. It's time for the Heat Check, where we bring you everything that's dropping this week. First, we have the Nike Air Flight Lite 2 on the 21st, an often forgotten classic from the golden era of sneakers. The Air Flight Lite were on the feet of Scottie Pippen and Chris Mullin during the 1992 Olympics. Will Smith during an episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and Wesley Snipes in White Men Can't Jump, and many more. Those are pretty good endorsements if you really think about it, and if a history like that can't attract an audience beyond the people who already know those bits of knowledge, then we are really living in the darkest of sneaker timelines. We also have the Nike Air Presto Halloween. These are on the 21st for $150. There's a whole lot of Halloween sneakers dropping from Nike this week, including a handful of Air Force Ones, but we're really keeping it simple for the Heat Check with this clean and simple black and orange Presto with slightly spooky energy. We have the Salehi Bembury New Balance 574 Yurt on the 22nd for $160. In a year when New Balance might have Nike a little flustered, this unique take on the 574 comes with a fully functional whistle. Why? Because you never know when a hype beast might be in an unfamiliar territory, like, say, the next street over from Melrose and Fairfax, and they need the assistance of their fellow friends to get them back on the IG-ready streets to flex. Hello? We have the Adidas Yeezy Boost 350 V2 Max Oat on the 23rd for $220. According to PPG, oatmeal is a pale gray, yellow, white, and green undertone. It is a perfect paint color for a standalone wall or trim. Pair it with neutral grease tones. And then my pick of the week is the Nike SB Dunk High Strawberry Cough on the 22nd. And what might be the longest delay ever for a sneaker release, it appears that some skate shops will finally stock the Strawberry Cough Dunks this coming week. Originally set to drop on April 20th, 2020, this release was delayed because, well, there's a coughing strawberry on the shoe. Kinda obvious why Nike might want to hold back on these, but now it's here, kinda, and we can finally run the descriptor of the nickname. Known for its sweet smell of fresh strawberries and an expanding sensation that can make even the most seasoned consumer cough, Strawberry Cough is a potent strain with mysterious genetic origins. The skunky berry flavor will capture your senses, while the cerebral uplifting effects provide an aura of euphoria that is sure to leave a smile on your face. Strawberry Cough is a great solution in times of elevated stress. Huh, that's a weird way to describe a red and green sneaker that looks like a strawberry from afar. I wonder what they could be implying or talking about. And now for a heat check on Big Baller Brand's luxury sneakers. Just when you thought it was safe, my man Lavar is back, baby.
Triple B's Big Baller Brand is in the building. Independency.
Okay, I can't be the only one who looked up independency, right? Turns out it is a word, it's just not one you hear all the time. Like, it's even the first frequently asked question when you search for it. Does the word independency exist? Thanks, Lavar. I learn something new every day. Well, that and thanks for the content because, wow, those luxury BBBs are something else. Well, they're actually not something else. They are Stan Smiths, they are Gucci's, they are MCMs, they are Cole Haans, they are YSLs. You get the idea. Go search for sneakers on Bloomingdale's online store and you will see a dozen other shoes that look exactly like those BBBs. And none of them have the baggage that BBB brings with them everywhere they go. And quick side note, of course, every luxury brand has problematic baggage that goes along with selling plain tennis shoes for $600. I'm just saying in recent times. And to claim that these were designed by Jello Ball is a little wild. Like, did they ask Jello where the BBB logo should go? Was Jello wearing Alexander McQueen's, which are $100 cheaper than the BBBs, with that oversized sole, and he told the team, yeah, like these? Did he really design those I told you so kicks that's worth $900? It's a little crazy, man, but you know what? It's fine, really. It's fine. Let Jello be the next great sneaker designers. Live out your dream, kid. But that's not the part of this reveal that's unusual to me. This BBB announcement comes on the same day Lavar's son Melo is officially debuting his Puma signature shoes and becoming the brand's signature star. Not that I profess to be a master marketer or anything like that, but undercutting my son's big moment with a rival of what many believe is a joke is not something that I would do. Like, at the end of the day, I do hope BBB hangs around, produces quality products that live up to the price tag, and isn't just a punchline anymore because maybe they can be the brand that challenges Nike. You know what? I can't even say that with a straight face. I just hope nobody sues BBB for the quality of these luxury kicks and for the turnaround time for these like they did the ZO2s when the brand first popped up. All right, let's give each of these BBB shoes their own personal heat check rating. The BBB Classic White, $695. I gave it 2 original BBB Alonzo ZO2s before the redesign, out of 10 Nike Air Alonzos because Alonzo Mourning is still the only Zoe we acknowledge here on Hard Pass. Okay, it's just my co-writer. He's a big Zoe fan from back in the day. Then we have the BBB Scorching Red for $695. 2 Jello Ball G League jerseys out of 10 LaMelo Ball Panini Prism rookie cards that are actually kind of undervalued right now, especially compared to the kind of overpriced optic version. Think that will reset itself as the season starts. And then we have the BBB Mirage, $695 again. 2 unused tickets to a Junior Basketball Association game out of 10 tickets to a Charlotte Hornets game, sitting right next to the same row as Hornets owner Michael Jordan. And then the BBB I Told You So for $895. 2 Puma NBO1s out of 10 BBB t-shirts on clearance at the volleyball tournament. That's out in Chino Hills. It's time for this week's Hard Pass, where we take a look at something in the culture that just needs to go, like recreating the past for the kids. This week, Virgil Abloh had some choice words for critics and fans of his upcoming Off-White Air Jordan 2 release in an Instagram post by @Scholar23. Now, you might think they were mean-spirited words since it is the internet, but it was actually the opposite. Virgil was cool and calm and quite informative when talking about the collab and the decision-making process that went into putting together the project. When someone asked about the cracked midsole, Virgil said that it was scanned from a pair Michael Jordan actually wore and is dying the slowest of sneaker deaths in the Jordan brand vault. He also talked about the struggle to nail the shape of the toe box, which I guess has been a point of contention by purists throughout the years. Virgil mentions that the signature is meant to be a callback to when MJ would sign the pairs that he wore and then give away to fans after the game. And that the packaging and the white gloves, those are all an inside nod to the premium treatment that Nike applies to their archived materials. All in all, this collab, that I'm sure will be a hit on the same level that his buddy Don C once had with the twos, if not greater, is Virgil's love letter to the part of MJ's sneaker legacy that isn't always explored, the Air Jordan 2, and more specifically, the Air Jordan 2 Low. It was fascinating to get a small peek into what goes into putting together a drop such as this, and for Virgil to be so forthcoming when he really doesn't have to be. Whether you like it or not, Virgil has punched his own ticket to do as he pleases over at Nike, within reason, because of how wildly successful his Off-White collaboration has been. I just don't agree with the pursuit of making kids feel how he felt when he was a kid in Chicago growing up watching Michael Jordan in Air Jordans. In one of his responses, Virgil says that his premise for this collab is to make sure the millions of new kids pushing sneakers into pop culture get an ounce of feeling of what it was like when I was in middle school waiting for the playoffs to start and to see what black colorway was coming. Or finessing the salespeople at Foot Locker to look at the whole spiral-bound Nike catalog, not simply scrolling IG accounts that leak shoes before he sees a proper sample. Like, okay, fine. Like I said, Virgil can do what he wants, and if that's his inspiration, that's cool. I just don't think he can replicate the magic that he felt and that people of his age felt when Michael Jordan was still in his prime through a sneaker. It was a moment in time, and you had to be there to really appreciate it. And it's going to be up to the kids whether they want to take that torch and carry it to the next generation, but it's still not going to be the same. It's like when parents feed their kids a steady media diet of things that they loved when they were growing up. In my case, it was my parents playing Stevie Wonder on the radio all the time. Like, they can make me listen to that all day long, but I can never have the same feeling that they had when the song was new and everybody around them was hearing it for the very first time. We can put a translucent sole and a stripe on the bottom of an Air Jordan 3 white cement, but it cannot give us the feeling of euphoria when the judges gave Jordan a 50 for doing the same dunk in 3 different rounds. Yes, I'm a Dominic Truther. Sue me. We can go back into the Nike archives and find original pairs of the Air Jordan 1 and recreate them to the exact specifications as they were in 1985, right down to the shades of red in the shape of the toe box. You, the adult who was around in 1985 and was gifted a pair of Chicago 1s by your dad, might get a pang of nostalgia. But for the teenager now who only knows Jordan because of social media and insufferable olds who can't let him go, it's a pair that's cool because everybody says it's cool and that's why they want it. Nothing more, nothing less. Chasing that nostalgic feeling for people who didn't live it is a fleeting exercise that I don't think needs to be pursued until we can build an actual DeLorean time machine and go back to 1988. And even then, you already know what happened. Like, sure, I would love to be back in Cleveland for the shot as MJ sticks it to the Cavs yet again, but it'll feel cool, but not new, because the result had already been determined. For the kids now, their time machine moment won't come the day that they are able to score a pair of Off-White Air Jordan 2s. It will be years, if not decades from now, when this inevitably gets a retro release and those same kids who are now adults are able to re-up. That's their nostalgia moment. It will not and cannot be the same as Virgil's, try as he might while diving deep into the Nike archives. Personally, I wish Virgil and Off-White would take a shot at LeBrons and KDs and Kyries and Freaks and even PGs. Like, give these new silhouettes the rub that they clearly need as modern day basketball shoes have been out of favor for a long time now. We can espouse the looks and benefits of a LeBron 19. Okay, that's a bad example. We can espouse the looks and benefits of a Zoom Freak 3, but nowadays they also need the support of a Virgil or a Don C or a Travis Scott to bump up their profile. Is that a little sad and maybe even an indictment on Nike's current crop of designers that they haven't been able to break through in quite some time? Maybe, but since we are in full-blown rebranding sneakers and other aspects of Nike at the moment, why don't we do the same with their current signature lines? Let Virgil get a crack at actually designing the Zoom Freak 4 or Zoom Freak 5. Let Travis work his magic touch that you all seem to love on a LeBron. Maybe we get Fragment Design to make Kyrie like the Kyrie 8, assuming he even plays at all this season. Like, won't someone please think about the PG5 or PG6? If PlayStation branding can't move a Nike shoe, I think we need to reconsider a lot of things. So yeah, thanks for the insight, Virgil. I think I'm actually excited and hopeful to get a pair of the Off-White Air Jordan 2 Lows, but I can't imagine my feeling is going to be the same as the gentrifiers that our guy Ron Ferris was mentioning in his presentation earlier. All right, That's going to do it for the show today. Thank you guys for watching Hard Pass. I am Jacques Slade. I'll see you next week, but not before we close things out with the hottest beat of 2021. The sound of someone getting a Jumpman tattoo removed. I need the remix, baby. I'll see you next week. Peace.